$42 billion American oil tanker struck by Chinese missile. What happened next shocked the world. Tuesday morning, 6:13 a.m., the Strait of Malacca. A single explosion changed everything. The USNS Mercy Point, 336 meters of American steel, carrying 2.1 million barrels of crude oil. Destination, Pearl Harbor. Value of cargo alone, $187 million. This wasn't just a tanker. This was a floating fortress of American energy independence. At exactly 6:13 a.m., a YJ-12 anti-ship missile traveling at Mach 3 slammed into her port side. The warhead detonated 6 feet above the waterline. 500 pounds of high explosive. The blast ripped a 40-foot hole in reinforced hull plating. Alarms screamed across all 12 decks simultaneously. Captain Robert Chen was on the bridge when impact occurred. Former Navy destroyer commander, 23 years at sea. He drilled for this scenario hundreds of times. But theory and reality are different universes. The ship shuddered like a living thing in pain. Emergency lighting flickered. Then the fire started. The missile hit amidships, exactly where fuel lines ran closest to the hull. Crude oil ignited instantly. Temperatures reached 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit in 17 seconds. Black smoke erupted skyward, visible for 60 miles. Crew members in that section had 8 seconds to escape. 14 didn't make it. What's your call in this situation? Type A for immediate abandon ship. Type C for damage control and fight the fires. Drop your answer below. Chinese frigate Yancheng was positioned 47 miles northeast, Type 804A class. She'd been shadowing the Mercy Point for 16 hours. Her captain received the fire order at 6:11 a.m., 2 minutes before impact. The command came directly from Beijing. Launch authorization code verified. Target confirmed as American flag vessel. The YJ-12 missile flew its programmed trajectory perfectly, climbed to 40,000 feet, dove at terminal velocity, active radar homing locked onto the largest metal signature in a 100-mile radius. The Mercy Point never had a chance to evade. Tankers don't maneuver like warships. They lumber, they burn, they die slow. Captain Chen made his decision in 4 seconds. No abandoned ship, not yet. The Mercy Point carried 174 crew members. Evacuation in these seas would cost lives. He ordered damage control teams to the blast site, ordered the engine room to maintain power, ordered communications officer to transmit distress signal on all emergency frequencies. If you're enjoying this tactical breakdown of real naval crisis, hit that subscribe button right now. The distress call went out at 6:14 a.m. Mayday, 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 USNS Mercy Point, position 2.5 degrees north, 101.3 degrees east, under attack, missile strike, heavy casualties, fires out of control, request immediate assistance. 16 military vessels received that transmission. Malaysian patrol boats, Indonesian frigates, Singaporean corvettes. But the fastest response came from 230 miles southeast. USS Michael Monsoor, Zumwalt-class guided missile destroyer, the most advanced surface combatant ever built. Her captain had been monitoring Chinese naval activity for 3 days. Monsoor went to flank speed, 30 knots, cutting through 8-foot swells like a racing yacht. Her SPY-6 radar was already tracking the Chinese frigate Yancheng, already calculating firing solutions, already preparing for what came next. The Mercy Point was dying. Damage control teams fought flames with everything they had. High-pressure hoses, foam suppressant, hail and gas. But crude oil fires don't surrender easily. The blaze spread to cargo hold number 3. 400,000 barrels of oil feeding the inferno. Hull temperature reached critical levels. Steel doesn't melt at those temperatures. It weakens, it buckles, it fails. At 6:31 a.m., 18 minutes after the missile strike, the Mercy Point's keel began to fracture. Captain Chen felt it through the deck plating, a deep groaning sound. The ship twisting against herself, structural integrity at 40% and falling. He gave the order he'd prayed he'd never give. Abandon ship. Crew members rushed to lifeboat stations. Emergency protocols drilled 1,000 times now executed under fire and smoke. The first lifeboat hit the water at 6:34 a.m., then the second, then the third. But cargo hold 3 exploded before the fourth boat could launch. The secondary explosion was catastrophic. Ignited 200,000 additional barrels of crude. The fireball rose 400 feet into tropical sky. The blast wave knocked crew members off their feet. Shrapnel tore through superstructure. The Mercy Point listed 23 degrees to port in 90 seconds. Chinese frigate Yancheng watched from 47 miles away. Her captain transmitted mission success to Fleet Command. Target hit. Target burning. American tanker going down. Beijing received confirmation at 6:37 a.m. They'd struck a blow against American energy security, demonstrated that Chinese missiles could reach anywhere in the South China Sea, sent a message written in fire and American blood. But they didn't account for the Monsoor. USS Michael Monsoor arrived on scene at 7:48 a.m. Her crew immediately began rescue operations, pulled 141 survivors from the water, provided medical treatment to 37 wounded, recovered 14 bodies. Captain Chen was the last man off the Mercy Point. Naval tradition, the captain leaves last or goes down with his ship. The Mercy Point finally slipped beneath the waves at 8:16 a.m., 2 hours and 3 minutes after the missile hit. She went down stern first, taking $42 billion in vessel value and cargo with her, leaving a 6-mile oil slick across international waters, and creating a crisis that would reshape Pacific naval strategy. USS Monsoor's captain made a tactical decision that changed everything. He classified the Chinese frigate Yancheng as a hostile combatant, locked fire control radar onto her position, and transmitted a message that Beijing would never forget. Chinese vessel Yancheng, you have attacked and destroyed an American flag ship in international waters. You have killed American crew members. You are designated hostile. You have 30 seconds to stand down your weapon systems or you will be engaged. The Chinese captain received that transmission at 8:19 a.m. He immediately contacted Fleet Command, requested instructions. Beijing's response took 40 seconds. Too long. At 8:20 a.m., USS Monsoor fired 2 RIM 174 standard ERAM missiles, extended-range anti-air missiles repurposed for surface attack. Each missile cost $4.3 million. Each carried a 140-pound blast fragmentation warhead. Flight time to target, 94 seconds. Chinese frigate Yancheng detected the inbound missiles at 8:21 a.m. Her HHQ-16 point defense system activated, launched 4 interceptor missiles. But Zumwalt-class destroyers don't fire weapons that can be easily stopped. The standard ERAMs used evasive maneuvers, jinking, weaving, diving to wave-top height. The first ERAM hit Yancheng at 8:22 a.m., struck her forward deck, destroyed the main gun turret, killed 11 crew members instantly. The second ERAM hit 3 seconds later, punched through the hull at the waterline, detonated inside the engine room. Shredded turbines worth $38 million, the frigate lost all power. Dead in the water, burning, listing. Don't miss what happens next. Make sure you're subscribed to catch every development in this crisis. Beijing erupted. The attack on the Mercy Point was calculated aggression. The American response was swift retaliation. But sinking a Chinese warship crossed a threshold that terrified military planners on both sides. This wasn't posturing anymore. This was combat, real combat, between nuclear powers. President Xi convened an emergency session at 9:00 a.m. Beijing time. Top military commanders, party leadership, intelligence chiefs. The question on everyone's mind, how far does this escalate? Meanwhile in Washington, the Pentagon went to DEFCON 3. First time since the Cuban Missile Crisis. 7th Fleet repositioned across the Pacific. USS Ronald Reagan carrier group steamed toward the South China Sea at maximum speed. B-2 Spirit bombers at Guam went on alert status. Nuclear submarines slipped quietly out of port. The world held its breath. Chinese rescue ships reached the Yancheng at 10:47 a.m., pulled 183 crew members from the water. 29 were dead, 41 wounded. The frigate itself was salvageable, but would require 18 months of repairs. Cost to rebuild, $340 million. But the real cost wasn't measured in money. it was measured in credibility. Beijing had attacked an American vessel. America had responded by crippling a Chinese warship. Tit for tat, blood for blood. Where does it end? Diplomatic channels exploded with activity. Phone calls between Washington and Beijing. Emergency UN Security Council session. NATO invoked Article 4 consultations. Russia warned against further escalation. Japan quietly mobilized its maritime self-defense force. South Korea went to heightened alert. Taiwan reinforced coastal defenses. The Strait of Malacca became a no-go zone. Commercial shipping companies rerouted tankers around Indonesian waters, added 1-200 miles to voyage distances. Insurance rates quadrupled overnight. Oil futures spiked to 203 per barrel. The global economy shuddered. What would you have done as the Monsoor's captain? Was the retaliatory strike justified? Comment your tactical assessment below. Intelligence analysis revealed the deeper picture. China's attack on the Mercy Point wasn't random. It was planned, coordinated. Beijing had been tracking American tanker movements for 6 weeks, waiting for the right target, the right moment. The Mercy Point carried strategic oil reserves destined for Pearl Harbor. Destroying her damaged American energy security. Sent a message: your supply lines are vulnerable. But they miscalculated American resolve. The next 72 hours saw frantic negotiations, back channels between military commanders, direct hotline calls between presidents. Both sides recognized they were standing at the edge of a catastrophic war. A war that could go nuclear, a war that nobody would win. The settlement came on the 5th day. China agreed to pay $840 million in compensation for the tanker, for the lost cargo, for the families of 14 dead crew members. They publicly called the missile strike a tragic targeting error, face-saving language that nobody believed but everyone accepted. The United States agreed not to pursue additional military action, agreed to de-escalate 7th Fleet deployments, agreed to resume diplomatic dialogue. But privately, Pentagon planners drew different conclusions. American tankers in contested waters now travel with destroyer escorts. Every single one. The cost is enormous. The message is clear. Attack American shipping and you'll face American warships. Chinese naval doctrine underwent emergency revision. The Yancheng incident proved that attacking civilian vessels invited immediate military retaliation. That American destroyers would fire on Chinese warships without hesitation. That the next engagement might not end with negotiations. Support this channel by giving this video a thumbs up if you found this breakdown valuable. The USNS Mercy Point lies in 2,400 feet of water. Her wreck marked by maritime charts as a navigational hazard. Oil occasionally bubbles to the surface, a reminder of what happened when 2 superpowers miscalculated. For the survivors, the trauma never faded. Captain Chen was awarded the Merchant Marine Distinguished Service Medal, but he never commanded another ship. The screams of crew members trapped in cargo, hold 3, still haunt his sleep. 14 families buried their loved ones. 41 survivors still carry shrapnel scars. The geopolitical impact rippled for months. ASEAN nations accelerated their own naval programs. Singapore ordered 4 new frigates. Malaysia upgraded coastal defense systems. Indonesia invested $2.3 billion in maritime surveillance. Every nation bordering the South China Sea understood the new reality. Great power conflict could erupt without warning, could turn deadly in minutes. American oil companies lobbied for increased naval protection, argued that merchant vessels were soft targets in a hostile environment. The Pentagon agreed, established permanent convoy systems, destroyer escorts for every tanker carrying strategic cargo. The cost, $4.7 billion annually. The alternative, another Mercy Point. Chinese military learned painful lessons. Anti-ship missiles are effective weapons, but using them against civilian targets invites retaliation. The Yancheng's captain was court-martialed, sentenced to 7 years in military prison, not for attacking the tanker, for getting his ship crippled in response. This kind of in-depth tactical analysis takes hours of research. Subscribe to help us keep producing these breakdowns. The incident fundamentally changed naval engagement rules in the Pacific. Both sides now understood that attacking merchant vessels meant combat with warships, that retaliation would be swift and devastating, that the next mistake could trigger full-scale war. Insurance companies rewrote their policies. Commercial shipping in contested waters now requires military escort or faces denial of coverage. The cost gets passed to consumers. Every gallon of gasoline, every barrel of oil. The price includes the Mercy Point surcharge, the cost of great power competition. Military analysts study the engagement endlessly. The Chinese missile strike was tactically perfect, hit the target, achieved mission objectives, but strategically disastrous, provoked American retaliation, damaged Chinese credibility, cost more than it gained. The American response was equally instructive. USS Monsoor's captain made a split-second decision to engage. Had he hesitated, the Yancheng would have escaped. Had he overreacted, he might have started a wider war. He threaded the needle perfectly, delivered proportional retaliation, sent an unmistakable message, avoided escalation. If you made it this far, you're the core of our community. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Technology played a crucial role. The YJ-12 missile demonstrated Chinese anti-ship capabilities. Mach 3 speed, sea-skimming approach, active radar homing, effective against large, slow targets, but vulnerable to modern point defense if used against warships. The standard ERAM missiles showed American precision strike capability, could engage surface targets at extended range, could evade Chinese interceptors, could cripple a modern frigate with just 2 hits. Beijing's naval planners took note. The Mercy Point incident remains a defining moment in modern naval history, the day a tanker became a warship's target, the day America responded with overwhelming force, the day 2 nuclear powers stared into the abyss and stepped back. 14 American merchant mariners died that Tuesday morning. Their names are engraved on a memorial in San Diego. Captain Robert Chen attends the ceremony every year, lays flowers, remembers the crew members he couldn't save, carries the weight of command that no metal can erase. The Strait of Malacca flows with commerce again. Tankers pass through daily, but now they travel with gray-hulled escorts, destroyers bristling with missiles, radar arrays scanning the horizon, the lesson written in blood and oil. American shipping moves under American protection, always. To those who would target civilian vessels, the Mercy Point was your warning. The Yancheng was your example. The next ship that fires on American commerce won't get 30 seconds to stand down, won't get a warning transmission, won't survive the retaliation. What should happen to the Chinese captain who ordered the attack? Was America's response strong enough or too restrained? How should international law address attacks on merchant shipping? Drop your answers in the comments. This conversation shapes how we analyze future crises. Your engagement directly tells us what military analysis matters most to you. Every comment, every like, every share guides our next deep dive. Subscribe now, hit that bell, because tensions in the Pacific aren't cooling, they're heating up, and you need to understand what's coming next. The Mercy Point burns no more, but her legacy flames eternal. A reminder that in the age of great power competition, there are no safe waters, no neutral zones, no ships too valuable to attack, only the strength to respond, only the will to retaliate, only the courage to draw lines and defend them. Tuesday morning, 6:13 a.m., the moment everything changed, the moment a tanker became a casualty, the moment America proved that attacks on her shipping would be answered with fire and steel. The world watched, the world learned, and the South China Sea will never be the same.